Para naman po sa update ng bilang ng mga kaso ng COVID-19 sa bansa, ngayong Martes, April 21, meron po tayong 140 na naitalang bagong kaso ng COVID-19 positive patients. Ang total po ng COVID-19 positive cases ay 6,599. Nakapagtala rin po tayo ng 41 na karagdagang pasyente na nakarecover mula sa sakit. Meron na po tayong total of 654 recoveries as of today. Kasama po sa mga naitalang nakarecover ay ang mga pasyenteng nakakonfine at mga pasyenteng may mga positive, mild and asymptomatic cases na nakarecover mula sa kanilang self-isolation at home quarantine. Subalit siyam ang naitalang pumanaw dahil sa COVID-19 ngayong araw. Ang total number of COVID-related deaths in the country is 437. Kami po ay taus-pusong nakikiramay sa mga pamilya at kaibigan na naulila ng ating mga kababayang pumanaw dahil sa virus na ito.
Kumusta hong moral ng ating mga pulis ngayon at gaano karaming pulis ang na-infect na ng COVID-19?
Yes, as of last night, meron na kaming 77, ano? But 12 have recovered. Of course, yung dating 3 na namatay. Pero yung namatay kasi medyo may mga complications din yon. May mga mahina ata yung puso, may diabetes, may high blood and that. But sabi ko nga, dito sa Camp Crame, we're creating our own ECQ also. And then meron din kami mga quarantine facilities dito. Although ang kaya namin siguro yung mga asymptomatic and yung very mild. But more than that, they have to be brought to the hospital. And then, nag-exert kami ng effort to come up with our own RT-PCR facility. Hopefully, kung ma-accredit ito, then maasahan ng ating mga kapulisan na meron tayong sariling testing center. Kasi very important, yung ginagawa natin ngayon, una is you have to detect and then you have to isolate and you have to treat, no? Parang yun yung process ngayon eh. We are also doing that locally sa Philippine National Police. Para naman hindi kami aasa sa ibang branches of government. Kami mismo merong sariling quarantine facilities at quarantine protocols and procedures.
In the time of a pandemic, a sneeze or an itchy throat can make you worry about having COVID-19, the disease caused by the novel coronavirus.
Yung ubo ko lumalala. Medyo natakot na ako at that point in time.
When should you get tested for COVID-19? First things first, don't head to the nearest hospital if you're sneezing or coughing. The World Health Organization said on March 8, we are in a season that we see a lot of flu. Your symptoms may not merit a visit to the hospital. The Department of Health has a tool that guides hospitals in classifying patients. Is a person a patient under investigation, a person under monitoring, or neither? You are a PUI if you have respiratory problems, coughing and sneezing and/or fever, and at least one of the following: travel history in the last 14 days to countries with local transmission, and/or a history of exposure with a confirmed case. You are a PUM if you have a history of travel in the last 14 days, or history of exposure with a confirmed case, but with no symptoms. Even if you have both types of possible exposure, but still don't show symptoms, you are still considered a PUM. Who will be tested? The DOH says PUIs will be tested only if the person is experiencing severe symptoms. The elderly who manifest COVID-19 symptoms, whether mild or severe, and those who have underlying medical conditions will automatically get tested. The DOH also announces that health workers with mild symptoms will also be tested since they are part of the vulnerable population. Mild symptoms include fever, dry cough, fatigue, sputum production, sore throat, headache, myalgia or muscle pain, chills, nausea or vomiting, nasal congestion, and diarrhea. In severe cases, there's difficulty in breathing. If you suspect you have the virus and seek help, hospitals may face sanctions if they turn you away. If you are elderly, pregnant, or have underlying medical conditions, you should be first in line. If you are non-elderly, experiencing mild symptoms, or fall under the definition of a PUM, you are not supposed to be tested yet. You will be given instructions for home quarantine or barangay isolation units. Before going to the hospital, you can also call up the Department of Health's COVID-19 hotline. Our current situation deals with three problems: lack of labs that can test samples, lack of test kits that can get these samples, and backlog in processing tests, which cause delays. As of April 2, there are 8 fully accredited facilities that can process coronavirus tests. The National Reference Laboratory, or the RITM, can process up to 1,000 in a day.
Yun pong mga nababalita na medyo may delay, totoo po iyon. We are being challenged right now, but we have already tried to facilitate para po mapabilis at saka mai-spread po natin ang capacity sa mga different facilities natin para bumilis po ang testing natin.
1 to 2 days waiting time extends to more than a week for many tested Filipinos. Before any hospital or local government can set up a facility to conduct testing, an interagency task force resolution requires them to coordinate with the DOH first. The DOH has strict biosafety protocols to protect workers from infection. The DOH says this is why the lab initiated by Marikina City was disapproved despite having procured machines and test kits. Not all test kits are made equal either. For instance, although the Food and Drug Administration approved kits developed by scientists from the University of the Philippines, these were still subject to field testing. Other test kits go through this validation process too. At this point, they cannot be used commercially just yet. But even after kits are approved for commercial use, it doesn't mean that these can be sold over the counter. Only accredited hospitals and testing centers can process tests. On March 17, the WHO had a simple message to the world.
We cannot stop this pandemic if we don't know who is infected. We have a simple message for all countries: test, test, test. Test every suspected case.
Filipino scientists echo the message and call on the government to conduct mass testing. They say that this would help the government contain the outbreak.
In other countries, though it has been done, like in South Korea, they did mass testing. Pero ito po ay meron silang capable ang kanilang health systems at capacity for that. Sa ngayon po, hindi pa naman natin nakikitang kailangan natin gawin ito pong mass testing na ito.
Even with the arrival of 100,000 test kits donated by other countries, the DOH says testing would still be prioritized for severe or vulnerable PUIs.
Ngunit of course, nandyan po yan sa ating talaan, nasa mapa, nasa radar. Kung sakaling dumating yung panahon, we have enough resources. The government can do it, and it is already imperative for government to do it. Gagawin po natin yan kung sakasakali.
Laid against population data, numbers as of April 1 show that the Philippines has been testing only 40 individuals for every million people. To compare, the United Arab Emirates performs almost 13,000 tests per million people. And our Asian neighbors Malaysia and Vietnam test 422 and 159 per million people respectively. If tests aren't carried out, it becomes harder for countries to see big picture scenarios and create measures to reduce the spread of the virus. People who don't know they're sick might not get the medical assistance they need and even fail to impose self-quarantine. As of March 31, an online petition calling for massive testing has been signed by almost 250,000 Filipinos. How can we fight an invisible virus? Apart from prevention measures, the government must prioritize making fast and widespread testing available. On April 2, the Philippine government announces it will conduct massive testing starting April 14, the end of the lockdown.
We're also determined to fast-track the accreditation of substantial laboratories so we can start to the massive testing of the PUIs and the PUMs. We expect that by April 14, we shall be able to start massive testing.